Apple could be considering its own TV service, pitting itself against cable providers in addition to hardware makers. But what else might the tech giant have up its sleeve? Well, joining us now to talk about that is Gene Munster. He's Senior Research Analyst at Piper Jaffray. Gene, great to see you.
Hello.
Hello. So you forecast for years that Apple would come out with its own television. Does Apple's reported plans for an online television service a step in that direction?
We think it is. We think one of the big hang-ups on this whole TV, having them actually have a panel, has been the content side. When Steve Jobs had his autobiography out a few years ago, he hinted towards the TV. At that point, our research showed that they were close in terms of the interface, but the content piece was kind of the nagging problem. Basically, content owners giving up around the traditional cable models and embracing more of an over-the-top. So this service that's been anticipated and speculated about in recent days here would be a big step in that direction, which we think opens the door for an actual television.
And I guess just to dig into that even further, are there other product news that you expect to see from Apple on the content side or the hardware side? And how does that influence your rating and price target on the company's stock?
Well, when we think about the actual TV, as you mentioned, we've been just dead wrong in terms of the timing on when this is coming. We still believe that this is something that's in the works. Our latest expectation is that this is going to be out sometime next year. So think of 2017 as the first full year. And we think in that year, they will add, the TV will add somewhere between 5 and 10% to their overall revenue. And so it is something that's able to move the needle, and it hasn't impacted our price target yet because it's not in our model. But eventually we think that that will be in the model and will impact the price target. Separately, as we've been doing more work on this augmented reality and some other things that Apple's working on longer term, think of this as Google Glass that you'd actually want to use and you could get real value out of it. They wouldn't have kind of the geek creep type of factor that Google Glass had, but based on our work is that they have some engineers that are intensely focused on this problem, and this could be the next evolution of computing. So this is a really big deal, but it's going to take a long time.
Okay, and just to dig into that a little bit more, so under Steve Jobs' leadership, Apple stuck to a very simple, I guess you could say, focused product line. Now it seems like Apple is branching out into many more areas of consumers' interests, whether it be augmented reality, whether it be a possible, TV service. Do you think new products from Apple overcomplicate the company's product lines?
Well, they're still relatively straightforward. I mean, essentially it's computers and some mobile devices. So over time it does become more complicated, but that's just the unfortunate reality of being the size that they are. And the reality is that growth is kind of in the DNA of any tech company. In order to do that, they're going to have a layer of complication. The ultimate layer of that complication is going to be way down the road when they start dabbling in cars and things like that. And so I think that, from a consumer standpoint, if you like Apple and like how it kind of has impacted your life, you're going to see more chances to use Apple products. From Apple's standpoint, it's going to get more difficult to manage all those different endeavors.
And Gene, one real quick question, because we know it's coming out the end of next month. Apple Watch, are you for it?
You know, over the long term, we think this is going to be a home run. We think over the first year, it's going to take a little bit of time because the developers, the first kits that are coming out of the first applications are going to be relatively limited in terms of what they actually allow you to do. As they open up some of that functionality, we think the value of the watch is really going to emerge, and we look for December of 2016 as being the breakout quarter, and then it's up and to the right for the watch.
Well, Gene Munster, always great to speak with you. Thank you for watching. I'm Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. You can subscribe by clicking right here to check out the latest Mad Money CEO interviews, market news, financial advice, and product unboxing. Enjoy!